Hey, beings. You are listening to the Self-Tivity Podcast. I am your host, Dani, your self-investment storyteller. Today's episode features a special guest who will be a valuable participant in our Being to Being Self-Tivity segments. The Being to Being segments are a fun way to connect with beings who are open-minded, enjoys thought-provoking questions, and perspective-shifting concepts. I also invite entrepreneurs and business owners who have a thought, product, or service that contributes to our self-investment journey in the areas of personal growth, mindset, well-being, entrepreneurship, and or financial empowerment. Guests will participate in our Being to Being Self-Tivities bi-weekly, so be sure to follow so you don't miss out on all the fun. Let's find out who's on today and what self-tivity experience they will present to us.
Are you ready? Because I am.
And today we are uncovering the topic of cryptocurrency. A lot of people are talking about cryptocurrency. Some people are for cryptocurrencies. Some people are against it. Some people are on the fence or on the line, however you would say it. But I'm excited because I have been engaging with cryptocurrency because I have a friend and she is awesome at it. And so she's been teaching me a lot about it. And I really find it fascinating. So fascinating that, I've been doing my own research centered around cryptocurrency, but I've been learning a lot from my friends. So it's really dope to have someone that is in your circle that is really mastering their craft. And so I wanted to introduce you guys to my friend Alyssa. But guys, she's Alyssa to me, but she's also the Defi cryptologist. I hope I said that right. If I said it wrong, Alyssa, you can correct me. I was like practicing in my head. I was like, I feel like I messed that up. But hey, girl.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. So what I like to do is I have a game. It's a thought ER game that I've been playing on the show. If you haven't heard it before, but I want to play with you. And so I kind of told you the gist of it, but you don't have any idea, of course, what I'm going to share with you. But before we get into the game, I would like for you to kind of share, what you have going on, who you are in your own words, how you would define yourself. And it doesn't have to be related to the DeFi crypto. I want to say it wrong again. Oh my God. Cryptologist. But just how do you define yourself? I think sometimes we introduce people, but I just think it's better for us to introduce ourselves and how we make our mark in the world. So tell us your story.
Again, hello, everyone. My name is Alyssa. I'm also known as the DeFi cryptologist on YouTube and as Wendy, the performer. I'm just a human being that just wants to see the earth progress in positive ways in any way possible. Like in any space, if there's room for innovation, like I'm all for that. In any industry, I'm all for that. And so naturally, I gravitated towards cryptocurrency just because that is the future of how we're going to exchange energy and currency, not just have just one economy for one nation, but as many economies as people want to create with just one coin or token. And it's very, very fascinating. So I just gravitated towards it, and that's what I'm doing now. And as much as I'm teaching in this space, I'm also learning. So it's been an exciting journey thus far.
So what I like to do is pretty much experience cryptology. Why did I just say that? I have a problem.
That's dope, though.
I know, it's kind of cool now. Yeah, okay, let's go with it. The world of cryptology. But what I want to do is kind of experience the thoughts that people have around cryptocurrency and pretty much form it in a game. And so this thought ER game is where I have 7 unpopular opinions. And usually I kind of get them from like forums, blogs online, or just conversations about certain topics. And so what I'll do, because I don't know if you would agree with some of these unpopular opinions or not. But what I have is I have 7 of them, and you either say that it's their thought, which means it belongs to the sender, like you don't agree at all. Our thought, you agree with it, or remix. Remix means that you agree with some of it, but you don't agree with all of it. And so I'm going to start that game now. And so I'll have my first unpopular opinion about cryptocurrency, and you let me know, is it their thought, our thought, or remix, okay?
Okay.
All right. Crypto will be fully regulated within 5 years. The financial institutions will be in full control again.
I'm going to say their thought.
All right, next one.
Should I Should I expound before you?
No, not yet, not yet. So after the seventh one, I'm going to tally up the category that you had the most in, and then we're going to choose one of those, and you can expound at that moment, and then we can, dig into any other ones after that.
Okay.
All right. So the second one, some of the very people who came into Bitcoin as a way of breaking away from the establishment and the monetary systems are now acting like greedy bankers and dictators. Do I need to say that again? I know I tripped on it.
No, I get the gist of it. So I'm gonna say remix for that one.
Okay. Next one. Risk takers should take advantage of the potential gains they can make while they can with cryptocurrency.
I'm going to say our thought for sure.
All right, next one. Crypto wastes electricity.
I'm going to say remix for that.
Okay. Next one. Crypto is another way for the powers that be to control your money.
I'm going to say their thought for that one.
All right. Next one. Cryptocurrency offers a possible alternative to our failing financial system.
I'm definitely going to say our thought for that one.
And the last one, if someone hacks into your wallet, no one is coming to your aid.
Well, I'm going to say remix.
Okay. All right. So we're at the end. We have 2 that were their thoughts, 2 that were all thoughts, and 3 that were remixes. So what we're going to do now is we can expound on one of the remixes. So do you have one in mind that you want to expound on, or should I choose?
Okay. I don't even remember.
I know. I knew he was going to say that. All right. So one of them was, if someone hacks into your wallet, no one is coming to your aid. So we can do that one. Or crypto wastes electricity. That was also a remix.
And what was the third one?
And the third one was, I probably should know. Let me see. Crypto is another way for no, that wasn't it. Some of the very people who came into Bitcoin as a way of breaking away from the establishment are now acting like greedy banksters and dictators.
Okay. Yeah, that one, they're all so good. I wanted to expand on all of them really, but.
We can. All right, but we're going to start with one.
Okay.
So since we can expand on any of them, I guess we can let's start with the wasting of electricity, because I think that's an interesting one.
Yeah. So with that, people who started mining Bitcoin in the early stages, they use a lot of hardware to mine. Now, mining is more based off of the program or project protocol. We say protocol in crypto, we're just talking about what the project is that we're investing. And if it's designed well, then we don't have to worry about having like excessive hardware. And that's basically now in like the 2022 era of crypto, we don't use hardware miners that much anymore. There's like a few people that still do that, but that's getting phased out. So
yeah, I remember when I first started getting excited about cryptocurrency, and my whole thing is I want to add mindfulness to the conversation about all the things that are on the self-investment journey. And I was like, you know what, I don't really know anything about the electricity. Someone had commented on a YouTube video I did about it might have been NFTs or crypto, and they talked about the electricity part of it. And I also thought about the fact that we use so much electricity anyway. Are we doing anything outside of the norm based on what we're already doing with electricity that is harming? And how do we kind of even, I don't know, how do we even gauge whether or not all the other things that we're doing outside of crypto is harming or not,
Yeah, that's even a deeper conversation about electricity and getting off the grid and getting our own sustainable power. Solar power and wind power, and having our Yeti power grids and stuff, power stations. So
yeah, solar power. Okay, yeah, we are going to get into another subject, but yeah, solar is a whole conversation. But yeah, we can piggyback on that later, maybe on another podcast.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what's the next one? What that stuck out to you that you want to expand on?
There was one that you were saying about a possible way for financial freedom, or I don't know, or for wealth or something.
Okay, cryptocurrency offers a possible alternative to our failing financial system.
Yes.
And there was another one, it could have been, the crypto will fully be regulated within 5 years. The financial institutions will be in full control again. So I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, I definitely wanted to speak on both of those. I guess I'll start with the last one that you just said about being regulated.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that crypto will be regulated in the future, but it's so difficult to regulate a contract that was designed by a specific developer, because there are certain parts of the internet that are regulated, but you can't regulate a contract between one person and another. That's the whole reason why the government has so much difficulty trying to regulate trust, because they can't regulate a contract between you and another person. That's between you and them.
Yeah.
So now we're dealing with, in crypto, we deal with smart contracts. So that's kind of a protection within ourselves. The thing about regulation, you do have to do your research, and you have to still make wise decisions based off of, what the current laws are, because there are plenty of ways. Like, if you're concerned about what your tax liability would be, that you could move to different locales. Costa Rica is a tax haven for crypto. Also, Puerto Rico has no, what's it called, capital gains tax. And I'm not a tax expert, so that's not financial advice, but, do the research yourself and double check that. But yeah, so there's so many different ways that you can approach it, and you have to do your research. Like, you have to know which coins are more liable to be regulated, and also who the developers are. Now that does require some research, but the more you start to get into the crypto world, you'll start to learn how to identify projects that have true decentralization built into the mechanisms of the project itself.
Yeah.
So, and then also knowing which networks, because within crypto, there's a lot of different networks you can go on. And eventually we're talking about bridging these networks together. So that would be exciting, because we're still so early in crypto. But yes, some networks are decentralized based off of their coding, and then some are not. So those are also things that you can be aware of. But the government have little control. The only thing they can do is basically block you from, I guess, block the internet. But, it benefits them that we're getting into crypto. I mean, the crypto is going to be more valuable than the nation's currencies, the dollars and the fiat currencies. But whenever we're cashing out from crypto to their currency, again, their fiat, then it does benefit their dollar for us to do that.
That's another point that came across my mind is a benefit for them. And there's also this, what's the worst that can happen is that they could shut down the internet or kind of control where the cryptocurrencies are going by blocking certain things. The government can't come and do all this control with money and things like that. Like, we, the people, are controlling it. But then when you kind of get deeper into the conversation, it's all through the internet, and so sometimes a lot of scams can happen through the internet, and we definitely benefit from the internet, but like with money and security and people putting a lot of their power and security within money to put in a digital form, I could understand why people could be wary of it. But I also can see we all kind of collectively, we're just good. You know what I mean? We just didn't scam one another. It could be for our benefit. And that's really the fear, right? Is that we don't believe in each other.
It's so true.
And it's, well, what if we did? Then if we did kind of believe in each other, then couldn't we all kind of get to the point where we all just were able to live life and have the freedom of unlimited digital currency, where it's not about having a gold. It's not about having this paper money, because we defined paper money. We all collectively said we're going to make this currency. So digital currency is even better. We all agreed to it, then we could get to that. And I'm just kind of like, well, I don't know if the world really wants it, because it's like there's always something against it when we really could be for, and it could help everyone. But we're skeptical of each other, with reason, right? People scam from each other, but what's the root of people stealing and scamming? It's the lack of.
Yeah, it's the perception of lack, but crazy illusion that we're under when it comes to, taking from each other, and like us not realizing what our abundance really is. There's abundance everywhere in every form, but it's certain expectations are placed on us and imposed on us, and we don't see our abundance anymore. So we don't see that our abundance is within working together.
Yeah, I know, right?
We could have everything if we could just do that,
Yeah. I was speaking to someone the other day, and I was wondering, well, why because, the illusion is that there's a power that be, right? There's a illusion that, and it could be true. I don't know. I can't tell if any of these things are really happening or if it's something that we're creating because of our consciousness. And what I mean by that is, we all think that something is against us. We all think it's not working. And I believe that's true to a certain degree, but I also have this belief that we're kind of making that happen because we think about it too much. Like when they have sayings like where you put your attention to, it grows.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, are we putting attention to things that are growing that the government is against us, for instance? That could be a truth, but if we kind of started to eradicate that thought and kind of became more powerful in that, because like we were saying earlier, coming together, then that wouldn't really be a thing, because it's the system that has been designed is so heavy that it's difficult for us to kind of get to that point together. Or the other thing is like, are we making it difficult? Like, I can't tell if it's difficult or not, or we're just making it difficult,
Yeah. I think it's really hard just because of the way people grow up, and then still having a lot of trauma placed upon you from just living life. And then so you can't see the best of how we're meant to be. And then, as life happens, you just kind of forget what you set out to do or whatever. But, we still have the power. We always have the power. It's just a matter of our healing. It's all a matter of our healing.
Yes. And that's such a major part of this discussion about cryptocurrency or just currency in general, that a lot of this is attached to the entire world needing healing. We're broken in so many places. And one of the ways I see the brokenness is addiction to power. Because when it comes down to it, well, why is there a set of people who don't want other people to have money? Why do they want to control the wealth? Or why is the wealth in such a concentrated place? And they have enough of it to, for it to be spread amongst everyone. But it's like they're hoarding it because of power. At the end of the day, what are you going to do with it? You already have the money. You already have the power. What do you need more power for? What does it do for you?
I think it's a very egotistical perspective. Even to have that perspective is like a curse for you, because then you miss out on the connection that you would have with all the people. So I made this analogy before. They have a monopoly on all, not even just the money, but like the happiness and the freedom.
Yeah.
The ability to get on a boat and take a vacation, carefree. They're having a monopoly on that too. So it's just, I don't know. I can't explain what their whole family tree was like to get to that point, but it's a hindrance for their souls too. It's a hindrance for their mind and their expansion and, what they're meant to have too. I don't know if they see that or not, if they know that or not, but that's what it is,
Yeah. I never even thought about it that way. I'm glad that you said it, because in one lens or one set of lens, I'm thinking they just addicted to power and there's no reason for it. But it could be something in that DNA, in that family tree, where it's just like it's a hold on people to kind of try to get their way out of poverty or out of the circle. It's just as hard as for them to stop being so greedy, I don't know. It's interesting because I feel like the more we kind of talk about it, maybe that consciousness starts to change or start to shift in the planet, because it's really no point to it. Like, a lot of these things are silly. Like, people get mad. People are angry. Like, they really divide themselves in a conversation so heavy. Like, if I don't agree with something, like, oh, yes, I'm just not into it. But some people are like angry and, oh, that's stupid, or they call people names who decide to be on one wagon versus the other. And I just wonder, like, even down to that, that's just weird. On the surface level, if we didn't have all these things, it's like, yeah, that sounds like a very good idea, because we're trying to fight against this pull that is not something that we agree to. And I think the powers that be, maybe they also, like, again, don't have that thing in them to say, dang, something is wrong with me. Something is wrong that I want this. And I wonder what it like, because some people on the side of, I guess, not having it all in the beginning, but making their way up, they are dealing with their inner self to get to that answer. I don't know what happens if you kind of have all of the money and all of the resources, all the power. If there's an opportunity for you to think, I need to think about myself, because the world is so centered around money. You know, if you got money, then you can do whatever you want and think whatever you do. You don't have to think about anything else. Some people get a lot of money and they still, you know, in their lives because there's not that happiness. And some people don't have a lot of money, but they have a lot of happiness and they die poor, you know? But if you couple both of those together, you can be happy and you can use this currency in this world to connect with other people, like you spoke about earlier, or to use technology to its advantage so that we can be free and be more creative. So you talked about the art that you do with music, you know, and to me, I know that's your thing, you know, that's your jam, and that's what you will ultimately want to do. It's not even about the money. We have to create a freedom for ourselves to be able to do the creative things to the level that we want to.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons I got into crypto, because I see myself becoming financially free. I'm not where I want to be in the terms of finances yet. Like, I still want to pay off my mom's house and everything, but I don't have to do anything outside of crypto right now to earn money. So I'm able to pay all my bills from the crypto that I make every day, and I get paid daily. I think that, you know, there's a lot of things in the world, you know, everything has its pros and cons, even the dollar. If we want to talk about crypto versus currency, or like the American dollar is bills because they're Federal Reserve notes. And at one point they were backed by gold, but they're not backed by gold anymore. They're just backed by a promise, and that promise is about what? How many trillions of dollars of debt is the United States in now? But it's just that's their intellectual property. That's the Federal Reserve's intellectual property. That's their project that they created. You know how many projects are in crypto? Thousands. There's thousands of different projects, different currencies. So imagine 1,000 different US economies in one place. That's what cryptocurrency is like.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And their project is just one single project. It's so limiting, you know. And, you know, you kind of got into two of the questions that I had for you. I wanted to know why you got into it and, you know, how you're benefiting from it. But what attracts you to crypto with all the risks? How can you find your confidence in crypto with it being so many risks? And I have this question for those who might want to get into crypto, but are nervous because it's, you know, it's a system where you have this money and you lose the money, you can't really do anything about it. How do you find your security in it?
Well, one thing that I feel is important is to always manage your risk, because I am naturally a risk taker. I'm a risk taker because like I can make sound decisions in what I want to invest my money in. And I find these projects. I found some really good projects based off of some people who were in the space before me and their recommendations. And once I did my research, I was impressed with the mechanics of some of these projects. And there's a lot of things to be aware of in the crypto space. Like, it is the wild, wild west out here because, you know, it's no regulation. So, you know, you can make a lot of money and you can also lose a lot of money. But the best way to manage risk is to, one, do your research about the project, see how old the project is, see how many users are using and are involved in that project, what the total market cap is, or the total value locked in that project is. Go on Twitter, find that project's Twitter handle and research based off the Twitter handle what people are saying about that project, because you can learn a lot from the people on Twitter. Go on Reddit and research the project. And then also the final rule is don't invest more than you're willing to lose. Like, don't put your rent money in a project just because you have a hope that it will do well. You have to have some sort of system in place for yourself, some type of calculation based off of what you're willing to put in, what you're willing to risk, but don't risk it all. Don't try to risk it all trying to get rich. It's not worth it. And becoming rich usually doesn't happen overnight. You have to work at it. So, just manage your risk, I would say. Just manage your risk.
Yeah, that's a really good point because my whole theme here is the investing theme, right? And it's more about investing in yourself and being accountable. So what I believe happens, and I say this in even my own life, is that sometimes we don't realize how much control we have over our reality if we pay attention and if we're intentional. And so we probably waste so much money on things like food or junk. And for those who may not be intentional about their money, I know there are people who budget their money who might be listening, but a lot of people may use their money in a way where they're just throwing it away and they don't know where each dollar goes, right? The same thing goes with the thought process. Sometimes we just have these thoughts coming through to us and we're not being intentional about where it goes. If it comes in, you can practice alchemy. It can come in, it can be something that's against you, like, oh, that's going to be too hard for me. But in order to profit off of that thought coming in, you have to do something with it, right? Change it. Like, why do I think that I can't do it? And what is the data behind that being true? Right. So when we're going into thinking about these things that kind of elevate the planet, elevate the world, we can use that same process. Like, cryptocurrency is a scam, right? Why do I think this is a scam? And even if I think that it's a scam, are there any other ideas that I can research that's against the fact that it's a scam? And I like to practice that and encourage people to practice that because our world is full of so many different, I guess, yes and no's, or like there's so many different ways where people have an argument and then the argument could be both sides. Oh, bread is good for you. Bread is not good for you. I can't think of any in my head right now, but I think you might get the idea.
Yeah.
But we have so many of those. You should be able to look at both of them instead of just having one side being so dominated, because there's a story on each side. There's a story why someone is benefiting from cryptocurrency, and there's a story behind why people think it's a scam, right? Yeah. And what we do as a person is we don't just latch ourselves onto one thought. We think it through. That's why I like to play the our thought, their thought games, because sometimes we have these remixes, right? Where it's like, there could be some truth in there, but why? You know what I mean? Just kind of being critical about our thinking, being critical about our self-awareness and our contributions. When you mentioned that we need to manage the risk in all areas of our lives, what I like to do, since, Alyssa has been teaching me a lot, is use the money that I probably would use on going out to eat, or, use different side hustles that is not necessarily my primary income, but use that income to experience it, right? To me, it's all about experiences. How do I know that it's a scam or if it's not going to work if I don't actually experience it? But even though I might experience it 1 or 2 days, that doesn't mean that something is supposed to happen on that third day. There's also being practical about the consistency in anything that you do. If you're consistent, I saw this video, and this guy was showing his progression for over like 21 years of his artwork, right? And in the beginning he was 11 years old, and so he was just starting to draw. But as the years went on, his drawing just got better and better and better, right? And I feel like we can apply that same concept to whatever we're doing. Is the consistency and the belief system behind whatever you do combined will help you profit. There's going to be a return on the investment if you are intentional about it. But and I just kind of went on I just kind of went on a little tangent there, but I had a lot of thoughts when you were talking about that.
No, I'm glad you said that, because there's so many things in this world that are scams. And we could even say that the US dollar is a scam if we wanted to take it there.
Yeah, we could.
I don't want to take it there, but I've heard that argument, and there's a lot of things that I agree with upon that argument. But to me, it's like a means to an end. The greatest currency. Well, I don't want to get too philosophical, but
no, please do.
Love is amazing.
Yes. Yes.
The earth, the planet, sovereignty, your freedom, living upon the land, knowing how to grow and cultivate herbs. Like, that's my end goal. I'm using this cryptocurrency. That's what I'm going to build, to a point where I can have some land of my own, so I can grow and be fully self-sustained, by myself. And then even if for some reason I didn't even use any type of currency anymore, any crypto or anything, then I know I could have my land and just grow food and be good,
It's a resource.
Yeah, it's a resource for us. Everything is a resource.
Yeah. And I think if we look at it that way, there's so many things in our lives that are resources. If we look at it that way, we really could reap the fruit of the earth. The whole analogy of living here on earth is that the poor might also always be among us. I always kind of say that, the poor in mindset, but that doesn't mean that you have to be one of them. It's an intentional decision to reap the fruit of the earth. And a lot of it has to do with a belief system. What do you believe about your life? What do you believe about the future? What do you believe about even everything that's going on in the world around you? And how much stock do you put in yourself and trying to do something different? I don't think we're all trying to figure it out here. And we're all just doing all these type of things to get to one primary end goal. That peace that you were talking about, just being able to do your art and live off the land. That's where you want to be. That's a peace. I think we all are trying to find that peace as we try to find our way through all this chaos. Were there any other thoughts that you wanted to lean on before we left?
I just want to say that all these questions are great.
You think so? Yay. I'm glad, because I literally was thinking, I want these to be good, because my goal was that, hey, we can get on here and we can kind of just talk about cryptocurrency in a positive way, right? Like I mean, we did that, but I feel like it's always important to kind of have that other side so that people know that that's something that we think about, or that's something that people think about. Like there is an answer to those things, So I thought it was fun. I'm so glad you came and experienced them with me.
This has been great.
Yay. So guys, for those who are listening, we try to have meetings because she's my friend where she teaches me about cryptocurrency, but Alyssa also provides this as a service to people who want consulting on doing exactly what she does, which is being able to live off of her cryptocurrency for her income, which I think is very dope, right? You don't have to go to work. You don't have to go out here and try to Uber your way or DoorDash your way. You may be able to do it from your home. So I would love for you, Alyssa, to kind of go into that a little bit, share your details with everyone on how they can connect with you if they were interested in a one-on-one consulting for crypto.
Well, I do have a service where I am basically your guide through the crypto space, and I'll teach you all the beginning processes, like setting up your wallets, different exchanges to buy crypto. Like your first step into the crypto world is to find a trustworthy exchange that you can buy your crypto from and then transfer it into your wallet. And then I also teach about DEXs, and I teach about how to identify different projects that are worthy of your investment. And also I teach how to get a daily 1% on your initial investment. And I teach you how to locate different things within a project, white papers. White papers are basically the project's document and what they plan to do with their project and their community. So I have an Upwork profile that is up for anyone who wants to book me for 1 hour long sessions. And I just will take you through the whole space from beginning to end of what you need to learn to get started.
And I will put those details in the show notes. So depending on what platform you are listening to the podcast on, you'll see those in the notes, but I'll also be posting this on the YouTube channel. So the link will also be there. So I'll post there so you guys can connect. But tell them about your YouTube channel as well.
Yes. Okay, so I am the DeFi cryptologist on YouTube, and I talk about different DeFi projects and what I'm investing. DeFi is short for decentralized finance. So in decentralized finance, you basically become your own bank. That's really the whole gist of why people are in crypto is we have no middleman between our money. Send our money to one person, or we send our money to a contract to make us more money. And so that's what decentralization is about: becoming your own bank, becoming your own owner, and this having a stake in a project, in a community, in a platform. Centralized banks, they have owners, they have one owner, and that ownership is usually not transferred to anyone else. And they do require, you do have to have some type of middleman experience between you and your money when you deal with regular banks and centralized banks. So Decentralization is the goal. Not
Yes.
having too much power in one person's hands. And that's what crypto is all about.
So if someone is new to crypto, two questions. What's the first thing for them to get started, and how much do they really need in order to reap the benefits like you of trying to live off of crypto for like an income? Is there a set amount that allows you to do that? Because I know you talked about the 1%, but can you kind of go into that before we close as well?
Well, it all depends on what you would need to cover your monthly or daily expenses, however you set up your finances. But the calculation is very simple at 1% a day. So if you invest $1,000, you would make $10 a day. And the particular project that I'm in, I do want to tell people about it. It's Drip.community, that we're buying a coin that is, we all have the belief, and based off of the developer and his past projects and also his performance and the whole ecosystem that he's building around this coin, we all have the projection that this price of Drip is going to go up. So we bought, say you buy 1,000. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'll just give the example. The price of Drip right now is $35. So take $1,000 divided by 35. Okay, so you get roughly about 28 Drip. So say you just bought 28 Drip at $1,000 right now, and the price is $35. So we project that the price is going to go up. It's actually built into the mechanics of the coin that the price could reach anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 per coin. So let's just say that the coin goes to $200. So 28 coins times 200. So now that's almost a 5x return. So you've taken that $1,000 and now it's $5,600. So it's $5,600. And then you're getting paid 1% off of that $5,600. And that's $56 a day. So $56 a day times 30 days in a month. So that's $1,600 a month in extra income off of a $1,000 investment now. So you can see how it can start to add up. And then you also have the ability to benefit from compound interest. So in this particular protocol, you have the ability to compound what you earn instead of claiming it and selling it. So your balance just continues to grow exponentially based off that 1%. So I can definitely explain more on one-on-one sessions, but I think 1% and compound interest is like a major thing that we've been trying to master and learn. And then we have something here that we're finally getting to see that in finance. And this has actually never been done before. So it's a new experience for us. This is unheard of, but that's the whole thing with crypto. We're going to reach new plateaus that we've never even reached before.
That's pretty cool. Just on step one, and this is how I calculated in my head. If I started off with $10,000, so we're looking at 1%, and I had that 100, and I got $100 off of that $10,000. $100. What I guess the average days in a month is like 30.
That's $3,000 a month.
$3,000 a month, and so that's just with 10,000 as my original investment. So $3,000 times 12 in a year is $36,000. So if I only just dealt with that $10,000 alone, at the very least, I have $26,000.
That's right.
So cool.
Yeah, and it doesn't include price appreciation.
Or the fact that you have what did you say it was earlier?
The compound interest.
The compound interest. Yeah. So yeah, connect. I'll put that information. She is a wealth of knowledge in this area. I'm learning a lot. I'm on the side where I like to do the research and data. So I want to kind of share some of that info on a different platform as well. But as far as the teaching, Alyssa is the girl for you. And I really appreciate you and for you taking the time out and just showing love in the way that you have for me as, you know, my friend. So I love you. Thank you for being here with me. And before we log off, if you can just share your self-activity statement, because no one can leave without sharing their self-activity statement.
Okay. Can you remind me how to do it? It's the I am and then
the intentional action. So for those who are listening for the first time, the self-activity statement is like an affirmation, and you have your main idea, which is your affirmation, and you say and after your and is the intentional action that supports it. So this is always something that you know you can do to support the affirmation. So this is a practice. We practice positivity. We practice being intentional about our lives, because it's not always easy, right? Sometimes we may not feel like this affirmation, but we also have to have action behind it for the motivation. So example is, I am wealth. That's my affirmation. So then I say and. So I am wealth, and I will make sure that I budget each day to increase my wealth. So that's one thing that I know that I can do to be intentional about my affirmation, I am wealth. Does that make sense?
Okay, yes.
All right. So what's your self-activity statement?
I am my full divine expression.
Woo!
I will meditate and deep breathe on the moment as much as I can remind myself to.
Well, for those who are listening, I hope you guys have your own self-activity statement. It could be for the day, it can just be for the night, it could be for the week, the month, for your life. Just being intentional about your thoughts. Alyssa, again, thank you for being here. If there's anything else you want to say before you go, you can do it now. And then we'll say bye to everybody.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me, and thanks to everyone for tuning in, and, you know, we wish you well on your journey.
Yay. You said that with so much enthusiasm. But all right, bye guys. Thank you for being here. Until next time, hold on to you as much as you can. Hold on to your health, your being, and your mind. Be mindful. Bye.
Bye.